I got to share this with someone. He said, I go on a plane and and Bill, Clinton gets on the plane with this guy, and it turns out later the guy's Epstein. Now, this guy I'm talking to, this source, he don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. He's just getting on the plane doing the thing, the whole, protection gig, right? He says, I get on the plane, and there are these girls who are obviously not of age who are on this plane.
Are you telling me that there's a bunch of underage girls on the airplane called the Lolita Express? No fucking way. Next thing you're going to tell me that does KFC sell chicken? I had no fuck. What about Burger King? Do they have any burgers over there?
They're clearly young. These are not women. These are girls. And he says, I see Clinton disappear into the back.
Convenient.
He goes, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying what happened because all I know is he disappeared and these girls were back there or whatever. And he said they landed.
Let me ask you guys, those of you all who voted for Donald Trump for president, what would your response be if Donald Trump had Bill Clinton arrested for sex trafficking of minors? What would your response be? Cinema-based W. I would laugh my ass off. I did vote for that. That would be winning on a level that I didn't even know was possible.
Planet item complete.
It's not going to happen.
The item is ready.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Best damn president. That would be. I think there's a very low probability. Listen, this is the way that I always look at most things.
Civilian structure complete.
I think there are a lot of things like this that are 1%
military research
chances.
complete.
But if you open up my World of Warcraft account, I have a lot of 1% chance mounts. 1%'s happen. When was the last time an ex-president got arrested? Donald Trump.
Next stop,
like
wherever
2 years
it
ago?
was. And he goes up to the boss on the detail and he says, I ain't getting back on this plane. Because he's a temp. He's not used to whatever Clinton was up to with the whole shenanigans thing. And this guy is clear as the driven snowman. He don't want to mess around with this. He says, whatever just happened back there, I don't want any piece of it. They sent him home. They sent that guy home. And he was never tempted to that detail again. Now, remember,
where is all of this data? This is all government record, right? So if it all got deleted, so there's two universes. The universe where it exists, well, that's easy to figure out. And the universe where it got deleted. If it got deleted, I think we should know that it got deleted.
Our fleet is under attack.
On that detail. Here's where the story gets super weird. The guy tells me, months or a couple weeks later, when you lose property in the Secret Service, an email goes out. It'll say hey, I lost his phone, and it gets logged into NCIC or whatever it is, and everybody knows. So basically, if you find this guy's gun, God forbid, or his phone, it's now effectively stolen property, right?
Yeah, sure.
All of a sudden, all the BlackBerries on that detail.
Civilian research complete.
Showing up this guy lost his BlackBerry. Holy shit! Wow, that's so crazy. How'd that happen? I'm like, no. He says yes. He says it was the craziest thing.
Military structure complete.
Missing BlackBerry. Missing BlackBerry.
Of the coalition.
This is around the whole time. Clinton thing's going.
Are you really telling me that this guy is the co-head of the FBI?
Military structure complete.
Either he's lying. Why is this guy not empowered to look into this? And if you want me to look,
civilian structure complete.
These are the faces of shame. This is not the face of a liar. This isn't the face of a deceiver. This is the face of shame and guilt.
Looking for something?
I think he should.
So fast forward this story. He tells me
there.
that about a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it. But the short story, but not who they are. Says, you know, Epstein's an intelligence asset.
Civilian
for people in the
structure
Middle East,
complete.
right? I'm like, no.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
I'm like, you
I
sure
don't
of that?
have all day.
The
Orders
person that says it,
received.
I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset. Meaning, his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake.
Anybody that this is, if they were exclusively
Civilian
in one
structure
person's
complete.
custody, the political party at the time of recovering them would have used them and weaponized them. This is obviously not true.
The reason they wanted this story to go away is because
Civilian
there's an assumption
structure
like,
complete.
oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who is a very, very good reporter, I mean,
Does the source just trust me? I mean, I understand that you might not want to believe this guy 100%, but isn't it crazy how so many of these stories come together that kind of paint the same picture? It's like if you were making a jigsaw puzzle, like let's say you have a 300-piece jigsaw puzzle. You have 285 pieces. And it's very clearly like, I don't know, it's like a bird on a tree. And somebody keeps trying to say, no, it's a motorcycle. And you say, no, it's a bird on a tree. Look, it's obviously, they say, well, how do you know that? You only have 283 out of the 300 pieces. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Something is wrong. You're wrong about this matter, very wrong. You have to understand there's a limit to what people can do. Trump saved us from fucking people who hate America, and we're running America. Wake up, stop staying at home. Trump should do this. We don't know everything. There are things Trump can't do.
Looking for something?
Let me ask you this.
What do you need to know?
Why can't Trump do this?
On
Why
my
not?
way.
Didn't Trump just threaten to bomb Moscow to Putin? Wasn't it just exposed that Trump just said, yeah, if you piss me off about this, I'm just going to nuke Moscow? Honestly, I don't know. I don't. But he clearly didn't change his mind in one day. Well, you're saying that
Times
Trump can't
of
come out
war
with these
are upon
files.
us.
I'm asking you,
Comlink
why can't he come
active.
out with the files? By the way, if
Reading
English
you
isn't your
loud
first
and clear.
language, there's a high probability that you aren't an American. I don't know. Maybe you are an
Fleet
American.
deployment acknowledged.
Okay, this guy
Comlink
seems to be pretty
active.
positive.
Fleet created.
I guess.
Fleet
Originally from
deployment
Iraq.
acknowledged. Ready
Okay,
for
now
battle.
you're an American? Good,
Control
welcome.
group created.
All right, never
Yes,
mind. That's good.
Commander, at
Yes, I am
once.
an American. All right, great. He's not in it. How can he be in it?
Hostile forces
No
have
ways he
arrived.
could be in it, man. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there's plenty of ways. Because maybe he got threatened. Then why doesn't he just kill the people that threatened him? He bombed Iran overnight with B-2 bombers. He destroyed their entire nuclear facilities. And you're telling me that he can't kill the people that are threatening him? It's bullshit. No, it's... why Democrat didn't release it if he's in it? Seriously? Because they're in it too. And there's a third party that has access to it. What if it's a foreign government like Israel? I think that if Israel said that they were blackmailing Trump by, like, I will just, if any country said that they were blackmailing Trump and that they would threaten to kill Trump if you release the Epstein files, I think that the American people would overwhelmingly support obliterating
That's more
that
like
country.
it.
Straight up. I'll say it. I know I would.
in aces, right? Swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the
Yep.
ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions because, hey, you wouldn't want this
Our
video
fleet is under
out there,
attack.
right?
Somebody says I'm crazy. I'm crazy. No, I'm not. I'm the only person who's not. I think that there's a lot of people. This is a big issue that a
Additional
lot of people
credits
have.
required.
Is that they're so
Good day,
afraid of the
Commander.
direct and immediate effects of a confrontation that they let it get worse over time. And because of that, because they let it get worse over time, it makes the
Weapons
problem
at the ready.
at a certain point
Military research complete.
unapproachable.
Weapons
And
at
I
the
think
ready.
that really, it's important to effectively, like, it's important to kill problems as soon as they start to exist, rather than letting them fester and grow and get worse over time.
Comlink online. Moving out. Fleet created. Comlink active.
Apparently, they've been doing these big raids.
That's more
Big
like
raids,
it.
huge raids, and
Ready for battle.
I'm kind of surprised about it, but apparently this has just been like really popular. Yeah, big raids.
We went to bodegas in Washington Heights, then came over here to the Bronx.
That's fucked up that they got Arizona tea at $3.50. Because y'all remember it used to say $1
Reading
right
you
there on
loud
the
and
package.
clear. Control group created. Comlink active.
Employees not showing up are some of the things that we heard, but for others,
Yes, Commander, at once.
means bringing law and order.
So with President Trump's immigration crackdowns underway, certain areas of town are a lot quieter than they used to be. With local
Targets
store
in
owners
sight.
revealing a notable
Let's take
decrease
'em
in the
out.
amount of customers they're seeing, while saying some of their employees are scared they could be spotted
Open
by ICE
and
and
fire.
deported if they
Steady
come
on.
to work. However,
Weapons
Sounds
at
like
the
a
ready.
really good place to start for looking at those employees and who they're hiring. And why are you hiring people without properly vetting them? And you know, you're hiring illegals under the table. I feel like, yeah, let's figure out these places that are afraid of having their, like, oh wow, our people won't come in because they're afraid of ICE. Why are they afraid of ICE? What is the reason for that? That's a great question. Probably paying them like shit? Yeah.
New York is not the only city in America where immigration activity is creating ghost towns, and it certainly might not be the last.
Promises made, promises kept, with President Trump taking immediate
Ready
action
for
on
battle.
his top campaign
Ready
focus
for
fighting
battle.
illegal
Reading
immigration.
you loud and
as
clear.
ICE closes in on migrants, once vibrant neighborhoods are now turning into...
In my opinion, I feel like they're
Military
not
structure
doing enough.
complete.
Like, they gotta scale this up 2 or 3 times. Like, they're only, like, deporting, like, 1,000 people a day. That's not enough people.
Our fleet is under attack.
Susan Pichardo, who manages a Bronx bodega, says fewer undocumented workers are showing up for their shifts and significantly less foot traffic. She calls it the 2020.
They gotta start finding these companies that are willingly hiring people that are illegal. If you're knowingly hiring people that are illegal, or you're not properly vetting them, like, where's the accountability there? Because, like, in a way, like, I don't even really blame the illegals. Like, the reason why I don't blame them is because, like, yeah, of course you want to come to America. You're going to get paid more money.
Point
And
this
it's
to next
better.
conquest.
Like, if I lived in some, like,
Let's
some
show
countries
them
in
what
South
we're
America are
made
nice,
of.
some aren't, right?
Planet
Let's
item
say I live in one of
complete.
the ones that's a
The
shit.
item is
I would
ready.
want to come to America, absolutely.
Civilian
Fuck
structure
yeah.
complete.
And so, but the reason why is because these
What do you need
companies
to
will
know?
hire them. So these companies are really the ones that are creating the care.
I'll find a way.
And so if you
I'm
start holding these
already
companies
there.
accountable, I
Where
feel like
to
this would
now?
stop a lot faster.
Pandemic,
find a
but
way.
this time an immigration pandemic.
There's a lot of criminals. Now streets is more safe. You can see, you can walk now.
Yeah,
Military
they be
research
they be
complete.
calling me and asking, Frank, are they gonna come to the store?
A lot of fear, says this man from Ecuador. It's the kind of fear humanitarians are pushing back on, especially those who wish to protect the sanctuary sentiment.
But the reality is 65% of Americans strongly
where to,
support
Commander?
deporting immigrants convicted of violent crimes.
Some bodega
No shit. Of course everybody supports it. That's the thing.
owners are looking
Yeah.
to hire employees, in this case documented employees, because they
Only
need to
65%. I think actually that was just people that were in favor of mass deportations. Like, that's what I at least read, but it could have been another thing. I don't know.
keep moving the economy.
Yeah. ICE raids are pretty
So
ghost town.
immigration crackdowns are causing mainstream political panic, with some suggesting
fleet is
they'll
under
lead
attack.
to a smoothie shortage. But what nobody in the open borders crowd wants you to remember is that 4 years ago,
I love
before
how like people think that it's a good idea to like. Well, why don't we open the borders so we can get smoothies that are cheaper? Why don't we have open borders so we can have people that work for below the table wages so we can get cheap
Civilian
smoothies?
research complete.
Wow, that's a great argument. I love that.
largest migration event in U.S. history, we had a reasonably
Military structure complete.
which was a lot safer.
The
Because it
strength of
wasn't
the
a hiding place
coalition.
for gang members and dangerous individuals.
Military
The very
structure
people
complete.
Homeland Security is now after, with mass raids taking place in sanctuary cities all across the country. But these raids are turning certain New York neighborhoods into ghost towns, with business owners and residents
Civilian
saying
structure
the streets feel
complete.
much quieter. But that brings
I
up
bet.
some uncomfortable questions and possibilities, like where did people living in the country without the right to work
Where'd they
earn
go?
all of the money they were spending at these businesses? Were they earning
They were-
money?
they were
Military
working there.
research
And
complete.
The businesses, in my opinion, I think in a lot of cases, willingly and intentionally
Civilian
hired
structure
illegal
complete.
immigrants because it gave them a leg up in negotiation strength. You can now pay
You
them
got the
less than
full
average
weight of a
wages. They don't have the
starbase at
same
your
rights as
disposal.
American workers, and you can treat them like second-class citizens. And that's why they're hiring these people. I feel like it's common sense. Like, if you were a ruthless business owner, wouldn't that be what you would do? If you're trying to get by? Of course it is.
I am listening,
I would
my
assume
friend.
that's what they would do too.
In a manner
We go
connected
now,
to the
yes?
criminal underground by committing crimes, shoplifting, reselling stolen goods, or worse. And those businesses by complaining to the news that immigration raids have scared away their employees. They've just admitted to illegally hiring and employing people who can't legally work and may be in the country without permission.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the real reason why certain parts of New York are turning into ghost towns by allowing over 400,000 people to live in this city without permission to be in the U.S. An entire
Jesus.
economic system has been created.
Additional
Which is illegal and
credits
exploits
required.
everyone who's part of it. In fact, I spoke to one restaurant worker who said their boss was hiring newly arrived asylum seekers off the books for
Standing
far below
by.
minimum wage so they could save.
There it is. Oh. What a surprise. What a shock. Who could have guessed? Wow.
Hiring newly arrived asylum seekers off the books for far below
I
minimum
bet.
wage so they could save money. On top of that,
Of
if you
course.
walk down the streets of our working class neighborhoods, you'll see unlicensed street vendors all over the place, some of whom sell products that still have the price tags on them from the stores they were stolen from, which
I
get
am listening, my friend. I will take it under advisement.
This is in
Yes,
New York
I don't
City?
have all day.
How do you let this happen?
Orders
What
received.
the fuck is the government doing over there? How do people
I
let this
am
go?
listening, my friend.
The shamelessness. This is
We
embarrassing.
go now, yes?
to them in
You got
suitcases
the
by a
full
group
weight
of
of
men,
a
making you wonder
starbase
if
at
some
your
of the people
disposal.
spreading out
The
items on
item
blankets
is
are their by
ready.
choice or not. But as you're about to see, even though immigration raids are putting an end to an illegal system of exploitation,
Yeah.
predatory businesses and immigration advocates are very upset about it.
I bet
for
they
some
are.
reason.
This is the kind of empathy that I was talking about that's like so harmful.
Standing by.
It's like these are people that are advocating for like letting these people stay in
Comlink
here in like this
online.
exploitative
You made the
relationship
right
where they're
choice.
stealing things from the
I
stores
am listening,
and
my
then
friend.
reselling them
Orders
on the street. Like
received.
these people basically
Comlink
think that it's
online.
more noble to turn the country
Easily
into a
done.
third world country than to uphold our own laws. It's insane. Yeah, facts. Yeah, I feel like it's suicidal empathy.
Aye.
Well, the funny thing about it is that for a lot of these people, they never have to live with the consequences of their own empathy. So it's like they vote for these problems, but they don't even live in these
Hostile
places.
forces have arrived.
So they're saying,
Times
oh, yeah, no,
of
you guys
war
can
are
deal
upon
with it. It's
us.
totally fine because we can vote for
Reading
this
you
and
loud
feel
and
good
clear.
about ourselves. So again, it's about them being able to feel
Fleet
like they
deployment
made the right
acknowledged.
decision and they're doing the good thing. They're on the right side of
That's
history.
more
guys.
like it.
And that's what matters to them.
Standing by. Moving
Embarrassing.
out.
So here we
Where
have
to
your local
now?
bodegas, convenience
Yeah.
stores, coffee shops, and restaurants. And in
I'm
some parts
already
of New York,
there.
businesses like these
On
now
my
complain
way.
that they've got staffing problems and customer problems at the exact
I
same
think that they should
Can I do
complain
out?
to ICE. And that way we can get a list. We get a list of everybody. So who all is complaining? Okay, let's go ahead and look over these books. Why are you complaining about this guy? Damn, what is the reason for that? What could it possibly be? Zach, empathy is bad? The problem with empathy
Comlink
is that
active.
a
Yes,
lot of
Commander.
times,
At once.
the people that perceive and that they say that they
Fleet
have
created.
empathy, they
Ready
don't have
for
empathy.
battle.
They
Control
want to be
group
seen as
created.
having empathy.
Control group
And so
created.
what they do is they're trying to do what sounds like the right thing.
Created.
There's not really a principle guiding their behavior. There's more or less an approval guiding their behavior. So these are people who are looking for approval.
You've got the full weight of a starbase at your disposal. Opening fire. Steady on. Weapons at the ready.
This is a principled stance that these people have in a lot of cases.
Opening fire. Steady on.
Right opinion to the right people. And that's why it makes it. That's what makes
military structure complete.
Is that it's actually not empathy. It's narcissism parading and masquerading as empathy. That's the difference.
Time. And they say it's because of a prevailing sense of fear in immigrant communities over recent Homeland Security activity. But if what these businesses say is true, both the customers and employees at some of these places aren't supposed
Let's
to be
show them what we're made of.
is benefiting
Opening
from
fire.
a system that is
Steady
a
on.
violation of federal
Shields
immigration
down.
Well, the companies are benefiting.
Ready
those
for
are the
battle.
people who are fundamentally
Reading
benefiting.
you loud and clear.
And like the
Ready
citizens,
for
like
battle.
it depends on how you look at it. Some of them benefit, some of them don't. But I think that the one group that you can guarantee is benefiting is the business owner and the capital owner and the elite class is benefiting from having an underclass of people that they can control with less workers' rights. That is the one group that in absolute fucking certainty is catching a W from this.
Military structure complete.
Then came over here to the Bronx. Less money coming in. Employees not showing up are some of the things that we heard. But for Johan Mencias,
ready for battle.
Making a positive impact in our neighborhoods.
I know there's a lot of
Our planet is under siege.
I feel bad for them, but it's gotta be done.
I am listening, my friend. I will take it under
So as it
advisement.
turns out,
The item
residents
is
of this
ready.
neighborhood do not benefit from
Comlink
businesses who
online.
break the law and hire people who aren't supposed to be in the country. And they're
Yeah,
saying
that's because the people that
You've
are
got the full
benefiting and the
weight
people
of a
that are pushing for
starbase
this
at
kind
your
of stuff
disposal.
are liberals that live
active.
in completely separate areas that don't have to deal with any of the fallout from this. That's the reason why.
Ready
So like
for
the people
battle.
that are living there don't like
Good
it.
day, Commander.
It's the people that aren't living there. They have no connection to it, but they think that they have like some sort of cultural solidarity with some, like random immigrant that came and is committing crime here. And it's actually, it's really kind of crazy, the psyop that, like, I think that the, like, elite business ruling class has played on a lot of the, like, liberals, that they've convinced the liberals that having a second-rate, second-class slave class or laborer class is actually the moral and ethical thing to do. Like, it's really kind of an impressive degree of manipulation.
Comlink online.
their neighborhoods now feel a lot safer because of these recent immigration crackdowns. But even though residents seem to be happy now, local businesses that were hiring these folks are not. But the crazy thing about that is by hiring people who don't have a right to work and paying them less than fair wages, those workers are being exploited, and so is
there's a lot more that goes into it than less
Reading
than fair
you loud
wages.
and clear.
There's like workers' compensation. There's any sort of accountability
Point
if the
to
workplace
next
treats them
conquest.
badly.
Order is
there are tons
received.
of other, like, if you take income out of the
Yes,
equation,
I don't have all
there
day.
are tons of other
We go
like,
now,
line items
yes?
and
Comlink
levels of accountability
active.
that businesses
Yes,
have
Commander,
that are
at
created by
once.
the government in the best
Comlink
interest of
online.
workers that these people can completely ignore.
Reading you loud and clear.
local neighborhood,
Standing
which
by.
now has less jobs available for its residents. And how do we know that these businesses hiring people with no legal right to be in the country aren't holding that status over them or using it to coerce them to come into work in the first place, possibly as leverage to get them to work in unsafe, unsanitary conditions or do things they wouldn't otherwise? But there's
Exactly.
Can
yeah,
I
it's
do
like,
out?
come to work, or we call ICE on you. I mean, absolutely.
How? They're through
Yeah,
our
if
armor.
you take out the emotional manipulation, the emotional blackmail, and the suicidal empathy
Let's
out
show
of this
'em what
argument,
we're made
and you just
of.
look at it logically, there's no
Opening
perspective
fire.
that you can have
Steady
on
on.
this that it's not
Let's
completely
show
retarded.
them what we're made of. Opening fire. Steady on. Weapons at the ready.
Who don't have a legal right to remain in America. Yet, because this is a sanctuary city, they're allowed to do that. But they've got to get by somehow. They've got to work. They've got to buy food, clothes.
Military
provide for
structure
themselves.
complete.
And they can only do this if groups are willing to help them break the law. And some of those groups
Aye.
are gangs. And one of
What a
these gangs,
surprise.
this
Military
trendy
research
Iraq war from
complete.
Venezuela, they've had a bunch of high-profile members taken down recently. But this is a gang that made its way to New York during the asylum crisis, where it's been growing its criminal reach by exploiting people who may have entered the country but can't live or work here in a legal manner, and now find
Reading
themselves
you loud
needing
and
help
clear.
criminals to get things like fake IDs or fake working papers,
surprise.
which they could be using to trick.
And then this is again,
Comlink
it creates more of
active.
an ecosystem of crime. And then this ecosystem of crime becomes more oppressive and more powerful and more what do you call it?
Military
more
structure
toxic,
complete.
to a community as it
Additional
grows,
credits
because it becomes
required.
more powerful.
Legitimate businesses into hiring them, revealing that even if companies don't knowingly hire
Yes,
people who
I
aren't
don't
supposed to
have all
be here,
day.
they could still be forced to shut down if they do, which apparently might happen to some small
Can I
businesses
do out?
in certain parts of New York.
Good.
The item is ready.
Our street is more safe. You can see, you go. Susie Pichardo, who manages a Bronx bodega, says fewer undocumented workers are showing up for their shifts, and significant.
How is ICE
Good day,
not
Commander.
immediately going to this person and holding them criminally responsible for fucking hiring illegals knowing that they're illegals? They're busy? That's phase 2? I just like, and I really want to emphasize this point a lot, is that I blame the companies and the business owners 100 times more than I blame the illegal immigrants.
Standing by.
Like the illegal immigrants, I get it, right? I get it. But
Ready
these
for
companies,
battle.
they are the fucking
I will
roaches.
take it
They
under
are the real
advisement.
ones that are benefiting from this.
Point way to next
Significantly
conquest.
less foot traffic. She calls it the 2025 pandemic.
They're taking advantage
but
of
this
people?
time,
Yeah, they are.
An immigration pandemic.
So
Order
the manager
is
of this one
received.
bodega in the Bronx says that this
am
crackdown has
listening, my
turned
friend.
New York City into what it was in 2020 when the streets were completely empty and desolate.
Jesus.
That's quite a statement. But it also reveals that most
I
of the
will
business
take
at her
it
store
under
was due to
advisement.
illegal
Ready
activity
for
both on the part of the
battle.
employees and the customers. And it also means that
Wow.
her store might not be able to stay open if that illegal activity disappears. Now look, I'm a business owner.
I love how this argument is. Well, my business can't survive unless we have illegal activity, so we just have to ignore the law so my business can survive.
Myself and a store
Point
shutting down
way
is
to
not something
next
anybody should be
conquest.
excited about. But if you've got a business and all of the people working
Weapons at the ready. Logistics
I would
upgrade
disagree with that.
complete.
I think that if your business can't exist inside of the legal framework of like respecting workers and
Weapons
not
at the
breaking the
ready.
law, then I absolutely would celebrate you getting shot.
Let's show them what we're
Because
made of.
when you can't operate inside of that
Opening
legal
fire.
framework,
Steady on.
it's because you're taking advantage of people and you are doing things that are unethical and in some cases, at least what even I would argue, are immoral. Like that's a W, because this is effectively an oppressive and subversive mechanism
listening, my
in
friend.
society that has now been removed.
and neither are the customers. Who exactly is benefiting from that business other than the owners?
Yeah.
How are
Weapons
all
at
of
the
these
ready.
customers who don't have legal work authorization able to afford the things in the store? They had to have been getting their money
Weapons
from
at the
somewhere.
ready.
Places are tiny.
Civilian
They can't
structure
employ
complete.
400,000 people, which
Opening
means some of the
fire.
business these stores
Steady
are
on.
getting is related to criminal activity in other parts of the city. And there's no way around that. If somebody does not have legal work
Comlink
permission, the only way to
active.
get a job is to do it in an
Comlink
illegal way. And in some
online.
cases, that involves more than just working off the books. It
Moving
involves
out.
shoplifting, which is a big problem in New York because
Ready
retail theft has
for
been
battle.
decriminalized, and there are markets all over town where people were just.
How do you do this? Retail theft is decriminalized. Not to completely disagree with you, but in New York, you have to operate like this to have a small profit margin. I'm not saying that is, but that might be.
Hostile forces have
I think
arrived.
that if your business can't operate
Reading you
while
loud and
following
clear.
the law,
Good
then
day,
your business
Commander.
shouldn't exist.
Ready for battle.
It's just that simple.
Good day, Commander.
Like that's yeah, obviously, right? I mean, like if you can't make an honest buck, then your business fails. That's the way it goes. That's the free market.
reselling stuff on the sides of the street. On top of that, you've got restaurants full of health code violations renting themselves out
We've
to
been
people
crippled.
to just use. And
Point
apparently you've
way
got
to
people
next
making
conquest.
food and selling it all over town, totally under the radar of the health department. And the restaurant in question here
How
didn't.
is this like this? That's like how could anybody support this law? It's unbelievable.
Military research complete.
This place does. In fact, soon after this article came out, it ended up getting shut down, which means people eating that food could have gotten sick. And if people are buying
Ready
food
for
prepared in an
battle.
unsafe, unlicensed restaurant
Good
that
day,
just hurts
Commander.
legitimate businesses like this.
This is what I was saying, dude. This is narcissism disguised as empathy. These people are not empathetic at all. And I think that actually some of them maybe are, but they're so stupid they can't understand like the second and third order effects of what their actions are causing.
Times of war are upon us.
Much less
Standing
safe.
by.
We are victims of those criminals. Fernando Mateo says President Trump is making bodegas safer by doing what the criminal
You're
justice...
generalizing most people don't support this? Enough people
We
support
got
this
'em
that
right
it's the
where we
status
want 'em.
quo in the state.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
So you're right that
I've
a
got
lot
a
of people
clean
don't support
shot.
it, but enough people support it that it continues to happen.
system has failed to do.
Now, if you've committed a crime, I recommend, other than enter the country illegally, that you look for another place to work.
Open his fire. Steady
So this
on.
guy right here, he's the president of the United Bodega Workers
Weapons
of America.
at the
And every time
ready.
something happens in New York that's
Weapons
controversial
at the
involving
ready.
a bodega,
Yeah.
he's there to stick up for these people every time they
Open
get
and
robbed,
fire.
every time they get
Steady
raided,
on.
every time criminals come into their
Comlink
stores and assault
active.
workers. And he says the stores he represents are victims
Comlink
of crime
online.
committed by people who aren't supposed to be here. And
Yeah,
that's
obviously.
the problem that sanctuary cities have. They're okay with criminal activity as long as
Our
it's
fleet
federal.
is under
They
attack.
don't seem to understand
Civilian
that by allowing one
research
type of
complete.
crime, they expose themselves to other types as well. And residents
Military
of the
research
because
tier
if
complete.
you can't be a citizen, you have to resort to doing other things that are illegal too. That's the problem. And it's
Item
like,
complete,
like
Commander.
A parallel to this that's like not exact, but it's similar. So like whenever you're like a convicted felon,
I am
and you
listening,
get out
my
of
friend.
jail, you have such a massive like red flag on your resume that it's so hard for you to get a job that you end up probably committing
Comlink
more crimes
active.
again. Because now you're at this massive disadvantage and you end up doing it the same way, or housing, or finding a place to live. So these people, because they're not able to go through the normal channels, what ends up happening is that they turn to other additional criminal means.
Good day,
And
Commander.
really, I mean, again,
Standing
they're trying
by.
to survive. It's easy to understand why they would do this.
Washington Heights can attest to this. They're out there saying that their streets were dangerous. All
Yeah.
because illegal activity
Times of
allowed and
war are
empowered
upon
a
us.
criminal element to dig in its heels and take over. And empowering criminals hurts
Civilian
the law
structure
in ways
complete.
that are less obvious but are very real for
You
the people
made the
affected by
right
them.
choice.
And if
Yeah.
jobs are being given away to people so businesses can break the law and save money, that's something we need to talk about. Because it means that these businesses are taking job opportunities away from people who have to obtain them in a by-the-books manner.
Yeah, and this is not like, I mean, people make the argument where it's like, oh, these people are like picking strawberries, and so
Weapons
nobody
at
wants
the
to pick
ready.
strawberries. Okay, sure, you can say that, but these are people that are working
Reading
at like
you
a
loud
gas
and
station.
clear.
Like,
Set
you
a
really can't
course.
find an American citizen that'll work at a gas station?
You
Give me
made
fucking
the right choice.
Bodega owners are looking to hire employees.
I've
in
got
this
a
case,
clean
documented
shot.
employees,
bullshit.
because
Item
there's-
It's
complete,
bullshit.
Commander.
Absolutely, it's bullshit.
In the Bronx,
Standing
I'm
by.
Andy Sermarte.
So
Comlink
look at that. These
active.
businesses, now that their employees
Good
won't
day,
come to work,
Commander.
they've decided that they're going to obey the law and hire people who are on the books, which is going to be good news for people who need their first job and can't get it. And while the immigration activist crowd is out there protesting these raids as being cruel and unnecessary, these very same activists never protested businesses who exploited their workers at the expense of the law-abiding, who they...
That's what I
Shields
really
are
find to be
down.
odd, is that all these people advocate for these undocumented workers, but they don't advocate for holding the businesses accountable for treating them and exploiting them badly.
wouldn't hire. However, the open borders crowd is very upset about this, and they've got no intention of staying quiet about it, even though it benefits the very people trying to
If it's
make
the
it.
business owner's fault, why are you facilitating dehumanizing
You've got the
immigrants?
full
You're totally
weight
wrong.
of a star base at your disposal.
I'm wrong about dehumanizing them? Well, of course they're people. I mean, yeah, I don't really see, like...
Military research
when
complete.
somebody commits a crime and they do something that they're not supposed to do, is holding them accountable for that dehumanizing them? Like, I don't understand the logic there. I mean, these are criminals. They're not supposed to be here. They're, in often cases, committing additional crimes
Yes,
in order
I
to
don't have all
exist here
day.
without being detected. And they're working at these jobs that they shouldn't be at to begin with. Like, how do you, in any logical perspective, come out on their side? dehumanizing. Yeah, like it's emotional language.
Comlink
It's
online.
emotional language, and I'm sure it works with some people, but I don't think that average people give a shit about that anymore.
Weapons at the ready.
In America, immigrants who they claim they're advocating for.
Good day, Commander.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
So as a sanctuary city, New York is in a very strange place. Yes, these ICE raids are getting dangerous individuals, criminals, gang members off our streets. But you've got an entire group of people here who are very proud of New York's sanctuary city status.
Commander, at
probably
once.
because they don't understand how much harm it's
Comlink
doing, but nonetheless,
active.
It's because they never have to live with the effects of it. That's the reason why.
Fleet deployment
It's not because they don't
acknowledged.
understand it. It's because they
Ready
don't
for
have to.
battle.
Who are
That's the
very
reason.
upset that any
Control
of this
group
activity here is taking
created.
place,
Reading
and they
you
want it
loud
to
and
stop.
clear. Control group created. Good day, Commander. Easily done. What now, Commander? An excellent plan.
The city is going to divorce itself from what it sees as misguided federal immigration enforcement efforts.
So this sounds like a good place to start if you're going to look like people that aren't going to cooperate with the federal
Armor down!
government. I mean,
We're
like, that's
taking
just not the
direct
way it
hits
works.
now!
Yeah, it's nuts. Undermine the American people, yeah.
Professor on
Cut
the
their
news
funding?
describing
Absolutely.
this viewpoint of sanctuary city protections. Maybe he holds it himself, maybe he doesn't, but the fact of the matter is, it's the working class neighborhoods that are experiencing most of the crime related to all of what we're talking about today. And none of the gang activity plaguing the Bronx or Washington Heights is present in places like Cobble
Can
Hill
I
or
do
West
out?
Village. And these raids and crackdowns are something that people who live in these neighborhoods are very happy about.
And I love how it's racist to deport illegals, as if everybody who's brown is an illegal, or everybody who's Latino or Hispanic is illegal. Like, how can you say that and not be obviously fucking racist?
Our activists are out there talking about
It's
how
insane.
terrible these
Anybody.
raids are. None of the people who live in these neighborhoods are listening to them. And some of the people taken down in these raids are extremely dangerous.
Set
They've been
a
caught
course.
trying to buy military-grade assault weapons. And this
Wow.
gang activity is certainly not a mystery to New York's leaders. They know that a lot of gang-related activity is taking place in shelters
Comlink
like the Randall's
online.
Island facility that
Ready
is in the
for
process
battle.
What a
of being
surprise.
shut down. You'll find wanted posters outside,
Big
and
shocker.
the city knows there are gang members living in these places, taking them over, co-opting them. But because this is a sanctuary city with a right to shelter, the city has plans right now to open a new 2,200-person shelter in the Bronx, while all of this immigration-related activity is taking place in that very
Jesus.
same neighborhood.
Any of these immigrants that we speak about tonight have been properly screened.
Tough questions from Mayor Eric Adams' staff here at this contentious
Reading you loud and clear.
Board 1 meeting. I'm living this. I'm seeing this. Things got worse.
You
when
made
Chief
the
of
right
Staff
choice.
Revealed the decision to open a
Times of
2,200-bed
war
So
are
I
upon
can
us.
answer the first question. It's a no.
2,200 people?
Nobody gets screened at all. The city's not doing background checks before it moves people into its shelters. That's how you've got
Item
gang
complete,
members living down
Commander.
the hall in some cases from families with little kids. And since we're a sanctuary city with a right to shelter, that automatically means that nobody can be denied that right regardless of past or current criminal activity. That's how these dangerous gangs were able to make their way into these shelters in the first place. Nobody checked to see if they were...
I think the federal government needs to come in and, like, these people that aren't cooperating with them, like,
Comlink
fucking arrest them
active.
or something. Straight up. Like, I mean, you can't just,
Yes,
like, actively
I don't have all
defy and, like,
day.
not enforce federal law. It's insane. Like, hold up, what? Yeah,
am
exactly. Like,
listening,
yeah,
my
what is
friend.
this? That's wild? No, it's not. Absolutely, that's not
I
crazy
will
at
take
all.
it under advisement.
These are people who their responsibility is to uphold the law. They're part of the United States. This is the United States of America. It's a federal law. You don't just get to ignore the law if you disagree.
Reading you
with it.
loud and clear.
Yeah, we already fought an entire war over this once. I mean,
Base
we
jump
don't need to do
on
it
my
again.
mark.
Just get rid of
Hostile
these people.
forces have arrived. You'll have to fight on without us. Comlink
thugs.
active.
And after this place opens, because this is a sanctuary city, the police will not be allowed inside it to keep it safe and make sure there aren't gang members operating openly with weapons. But by
Let's
advocating-
show them what
I
we're
do think
made
that
of.
there's a greater problem at play here, which is that there is a huge contingency of people
Our
who
fleet is under
agree with
attack.
this thinking. And that's really what the problem is. And I think
Civilian
that
research
have,
complete.
Like the way to stop
Military
those
research
people from thinking
complete.
that
We're
is
going
to
down.
really emphasize the amount of bad behavior and the amount of bad things that allowing these people into the country facilitates. And I think that's really where the weakness is.
Times of war are upon us.
And it's instead been a lot of emotional advocacy and emotional blackmail towards justifying them being here. Bleeding heart lefties? Well, yeah, but like, see, the best way to combat emotional manipulation is with emotional manipulation. Because you can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. So the best way that you need to approach people that are like this is to, like, approach directly the people that are hurt from this. Approach it from an emotional perspective. Approach it from a manipulative perspective. That's what's actually going to cause those people to change their mind.
Halt to any immigration crackdowns in New York, these advocates fail to realize that they're advocating a
federal law supersedes municipal law. Municipal government doesn't have to enforce federal law. It's the only thing that they can't do is enforce laws that contradict federal laws. Oh, well, I mean, well, sure, right? I mean, if I don't want to see people sent to jail if they're not actually committing a crime, but like if they're actually defying or trying to like subvert or stop the federal government, then that's totally different, right? But the difference here to me is that
what we're made of.
I think the big problem is
opening
that
fire.
people believe
Steady
this
on.
enough to push it. It's kind of what I was saying before about like J.D. Vance, is that yes, well, I think that the people that are like actively aiding and abetting this should be criminally prosecuted. Of course this is true. But the other thing that's true is that it's the marketplace of ideas and the fact
Our
that this
shields
idea
are
is
down,
so
Commander.
prevalent. Why is this idea so prevalent? And I think the reason why it's so prevalent is because people have refused to play the game that these people listen to, which is emotion. And if you play that game, you can beat them at that game, because I think that there is no moral high ground to allowing these people to live here. Absolutely not.
And protecting people who do have a valid reason to be here. Some of the asylum seekers in these shelters do have valid claims, but by allowing gang members and criminals to live next to them, everyone's in danger. And now things are so bad, criminal activity is spilling out of these shelters into our neighborhoods, with gang members committing crime all over town and exploiting people.
They're not supposed to be here? No, you're missing my point. You're right that they're not supposed to be here. But that's not a good argument to get certain people on your side. What I'm saying is that you have to approach it from multiple perspectives. And one of the perspectives that you should approach it from is, how can I get these people to agree with me? How can I get these people to do what I want them to do? And so sometimes you have to speak a person's language, and they might not think the same way that you do. Now, of course, you're right, and I think that the way that you're thinking should always supersede what they're thinking, because it's logical and not emotional. But that doesn't stop the underlying problem that a lot of people believe this. And that's my point.
Shelters into our neighborhoods, with gang members committing crime all over town and exploiting people. On top of that, New York does not have unlimited shelter space, which means that some of these facilities are housing gang members, while people who could be legitimate asylum seekers are out sleeping in tents on the street somewhere.
A lot of fear, says this man from Ecuador. It's the kind of fear humanitarians are pushing back on, especially those who wish to protect the sanctuary sentiment.
We've been dealing with hysteria.
Times of war are upon us. Shields down.
So this guy from Ecuador who partially showed his face on the news, is he here legally? Because if he is, he's got nothing to worry about. But if he thinks he's not here legally, he probably isn't, and he could be at risk for getting deported. But even though we've got advocates that are scaring people with this thought of mass deportations, when Trump took office, ICE only had around 6,000 agents who could even act in a deportation capacity. The resources simply are not there to deport millions of people from America. And even though ICE is now allowed to enter sensitive areas like schools, hospitals, churches, that's not what's happening. Federal agents are not camped up outside of an elementary school. Instead, the reason ghost towns are popping up in this city is because of targeted removals of people who are dangerous and also have orders of removal from this country and are here profiting at the expense of the law-abiding. What do you think about that?
Down,
are these
Commander.
raids in New York City having a positive effect on neighborhoods that were previously taken over by criminals? Are people in the country unlawfully
crippled?
People can't break out of the
Our
silence.
planet is under siege.
I actually think that it's incredibly easy.
Civilian structure complete. You got the
It's
full
incredibly
weight of a
easy.
starbase at your
All you have
disposal.
to do is know what their levers are. As soon as you know how you can,
We're going down,
like,
Commander.
there are different ways to appeal to different people. And
Good
once you
day,
understand
Commander.
how to appeal to a certain group of people, then you can apply that in mass. But the same
Start making your
strategies
dinner
can't be
plans.
used for the same
This
people.
won't take long.
It's easy to emotionally manipulate. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, it is. And so you just do that instead.
Themselves to the criminal underworld in some fashion to get by. And does that empower
You got the
them?
full
People
weight
for
of a
all us
star
indeed.
base
Let
at
me
your
know. Thanks for
disposal.
watching. I'll see you in the next video.
We're
I
crippled.
like this guy's videos a lot, and I really do feel like it is crazy how many people think that
We're
it's
going
anything
down,
more
Commander.
than a complete manipulation play. Strike an emotional chord, they have nothing but putty. Yeah, exactly, right? And they just arrested a Salvadoran hitman, did you see? No, I didn't see that. I'll look at it in a minute. I think facts don't care about feelings, but feelings must be
Ready for battle.
Yeah, they will be. And I think that facts generally win out over feelings all the time. But in the same way that facts may win out over feelings, there's also the component of feelings still being important. Because I think that it's better for you to, if you can, it's better for you to win the hearts and the minds of the people as well. Like, it's great to have a victory, but it's even better to have a moral victory. So if you can do that, and I do think that this is a situation that you can have
I
a
am
moral
listening,
victory
my friend.
So it's better to focus on that than focus on just the books and only that. So yeah.
Good day, Commander.
Outdoor diners, beware. This surveillance video shows what's starting to
Item
look
complete,
like a
Commander.
pattern of armed robberies at outside restaurants. Police are trying to figure out whether the holdups are connected.
So a new disturbing trend in New York's ever-evolving sea of crime has emerged. And even though police have no leads since the crooks targeting these restaurants all escaped on mopeds, this is the type of crime that happens so quickly and is so easy to pull off that experts say it's only
We're going
to
down.
get worse.
We've lost
The
contact
thieves
with
are
one of our
demanding
planets.
watches, wallets,
Aye.
and cell phones.
Good day, Commander.
Shows men moving around a dining table and scaring people.
Investigators say one of them had a gun, another had a knife.
Weapons
Police say they
at
got
the
away
ready.
with $200
You got
in
the
cash
full
from the
weight
register
of a
and 5
starbase
iPhones
at
from
your
customers.
disposal.
Bro, what's crazy about this is, like, they're not even trying to hide their fucking face. He's just like, yeah, it's me. Yeah.
iPhones from customers.
They're using
Good
crimes
day,
of opportunity
Commander.
where they're just basically grabbing purses or handbags off chairs and running out.
Surveillance video shows a man toting a gun. He's demanding
Ready
customers
for
here to hand
battle.
over their watches and wallets.
Oh my
Detectives are
God.
now looking into whether or not the same men robbed customers at Carbone in Lower Manhattan.
Is there one thing in particular that you think is leading to this?
Well, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of
Comlink
laws that have been
active.
passed that have basically tied the hands of the police.
Officers are what? Now required to record the race, age, and gender of anyone they approach.
It slows officers.
Why? That's so stupid. Who does this?
Down from going
Let's
to the
show
scene
them what we're
immediately.
made of.
Overall robberies are up 5% citywide compared to the same time frame last June.
Oh my God. These are not targeting New York City's restaurants. Yeah.
Our shields are down,
If
Commander.
you go out to eat in this
The
city, your
item is
waiter might be
ready.
replaced with a
Shields
robber. Now, the
down.
police say they're not sure if these incidents are related, but what nobody's talking about is that all
Open
of these
in
incidents
fire.
are related to the fact
Steady
that
on.
this city does not
Weapons
punish
at the ready.
crime. And here, if you steal under
Let's show
$1,000
'em
worth
what
of
we're
stuff from any
made
store
of.
in town, you'll suffer no
Weapons at the
consequences
ready.
because that's...
Why?
Weapons at the ready.
Why not just put him in jail? I don't even
Open in
understand
fire.
this.
Steady on.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you?
Times of war
It's so
are
easy.
upon us.
There's no space. Then make another jail. But Asmon, they're people. No, they're not. They're thieves. No, there's no way you don't
Good
put up.
day,
You can't
Commander.
put up with this. How do you let this happen? How do people vote for this?
misdemeanor, which has created a huge problem because for the last year, stores like Macy's have been getting robbed regularly. Which
You've
is
got
like,
the
If
full
you're
weight
down
of a
bad so
starbase
much
at your
that you are
disposal.
stealing out of Macy's, bro, this is like, you know, they have these at Walmart for like fucking a hair dye.
How?
Nobody voted for this?
They're
Well, they can
through
vote
our
whoever
armor.
voted for it in or out.
getting robbed regularly, which is why everything inside is now chained to the store itself. And what this means is thieves need easier targets to steal
Ready
from.
for
Money-hungry crooks, they're not looking at stores anymore. Oh no, now they're setting their sights upon the rest of us as we chow down on bagels in the middle of the West Village. Because our phones, wallets, and handbags
metal.
make us walking dollar signs to these thieves who might even...
Can you carry a gun in New York?
Insufficient metal.
No, why not? Because I feel like that's what they should do. Just let people carry a gun. Then somebody
You've got the
tries to
full
rob them.
weight of a star base at your
What's the
disposal.
problem? Legally, is it
Civilian
different
research
yeah,
complete.
I feel like this
Our
probably
planet
isn't
is
going to
under
happen
siege.
somewhere in Texas. It's a lot less likely to happen than criminals would have guns. They already have guns. Didn't you see the video? They're already using the guns. This is amazing.
Lurking among us as if they're just regular people.
Yeah.
Not just at restaurants, but also at the grocery store or even on the subway, which itself is no stranger to violence and crime, and now looks more like a military occupation zone because of the high levels of police doing bag checks and the presence of the National Guard. Which brings us to the real...
See, that's smart. That's what they should do. Yep, that's right.
reason why we've now got a crime wave above ground targeting restaurants just like this. There simply aren't enough police to keep us all safe at once. In fact, New York City right now has as many police as it did back in the 90s. But the population of the city has grown by...
They're not even doing anything.
Hostile
There's just
forces
a
have
lot of
arrived.
people that are standing around, and the police officer is like, all right, one of you is getting arrested. Who's it gonna be? Come on, I know there's a reason for, like, who's off parole, somebody's got a gun, drugs. Come on, let's get this done.
Ready
I got a quota.
for battle.
Just come on forward, yep.
Over 1 million people since then, which is a recipe for perpetual crime. Because when all the crime underground started, every available resource was sent down there to stop it, leaving all of us up here utterly defenseless.
Can I do out?
Easy pickings for criminals who can steal everything we
Times
have.
of war
in
are upon
seconds.
us.
Well, I mean, the reason why they're defenseless is because they can't carry a gun. Like, that's the reason
Item
why
complete,
it's happening.
Commander.
What are we talking about?
Shields
Like, yeah,
down.
you don't say. Yeah, it's not even a
Comlink
question. Yeah,
active.
exactly. The guns kill people? That's the point. Duh. You can carry
Military
using a license?
structure
Oh, okay.
complete.
Well, as long as you can carry, that's a good idea.
So here we are at Carbone, a famous restaurant in New York's West Village where thugs recently targeted its patrons who were eating outside. Now, this place has a high-end reputation. It was started in 2013.
We're going
sick of this.
down.
I'm gonna look it up. Can you carry a gun in public in New York?
Civilian structure complete.
Okay, so here we go. All right, now we actually know what's happening. New York prohibits the possession of a loaded handgun outside of the home or place of business without a license. Concealed carry is only legal with a New York pistol license. 16 hours of classroom training. So you can with a license. The Supreme Court ruled on New York City because the way they were not giving out licenses. Wow. Well, I guess now it makes sense.
Good day, Commander.
Celebrities eat here, and a
Insufficient
USDA
metal.
Prime Porterhouse
Our
for two
planet
will
is
set
under
you back
siege.
almost $300. And that's what makes this place an attractive destination for criminals, because they know everyone eating here can afford the food and is probably
can't have
also
a gun.
dressed to impress.
Yeah.
The video we're talking about
Our shields
shows
are down,
men
Commander.
moving around a dining table outside.
Times of
and
war
apparently
are
they're
upon us.
demanding cash, they're demanding wallets. Detectives are now looking into whether or not the same men robbed customers at Carbone in Lower
The
Manhattan.
strength of the
Allegedly
coalition.
stealing $100,000
Military structure complete.
So this span of robberies has happened over the last couple of weeks. And before we get into the details of how these criminals operate, as well as the testimony from terrified patrons of all of these places, it's important to understand the one thing in common they all have. First, these are popular places to eat. In fact, so many people want to eat at them that not everybody can fit inside the restaurant. That's why you have
active.
these massive outdoor dining sheds.
Well, it's like, no, people do this in games, right? It's like you go outside a dungeon and you farm the mobs outside the dungeon if you don't have a raid. Like, no, I mean, I get how it happens. Like, it makes sense. Like, and it's smart. Right? No, that's smart. People did this in Scarlet Monastery. Yeah, exactly. So
Our shields are down,
there's
Commander.
like only one of them.
Shields
They're
down.
not as high level.
Our shields are
You don't
down,
have to
Commander.
go inside there. Yeah, no, of course.
The one behind me that is pretty much a restaurant in and of itself. Look, it's got air conditioners and stuff in it, tables inside. The bagel shop down the street has people sitting outside. But the issue is, here you are all by yourself on a public sidewalk in the middle of New York City with no police anywhere in sight. And these restaurants and businesses, they don't have security guards. No, it's just you get your food and you can eat outside if you want to, and that's on you. And this is a safe neighborhood, so it's kind of alarming that incidents like this are taking place here. But once you understand...
Well, that's why it's taking place, because why would you... Like, you don't want to... Why would you want to do it in a PvP area? You want to go to an easy area and just get free loot.
Can I do out?
Like, if you want $200, do you want to work for it, or do you just want somebody to give you $200?
I don't have all day.
I mean, I think they just want $200.
Weapons at the ready.
Why these criminals are picking these places out specifically
Can I do out?
makes sense. Especially when you realize that people eating out in New York City as a big group are utterly distracted and not really thinking about personal safety. But there's a much more frightening reason why criminals are looking to target people specifically on the streets.
Robbery is not on the menu here at
It's easy
Civilian research complete.
Sons in Williamsburg, but that's
Good
exactly
day,
what
Commander.
some outdoor diners got. You can see the customers give up their belongings before the gunman takes off on a scooter. When we ship...
So New York City has a massive moped problem right now, and the thieves, a team of 2, were riding one of these mopeds.
Our
which
fleet
is how
is
they
under
were
attack.
See, this wouldn't happen if... See, the thing is that if you were able to shoot
Ready
them when they
for
ran away,
battle.
it'd be no problem.
Within
That's what
cripples.
you should be able to do.
Good day, Commander.
I think if somebody tries to fucking rob